Hey guys, this is Epic5105 and today we're taking a look at the M-VI-Yoh, the Tier 10 American heavy tank which branches off from the M6, where you can pick to go the autoloader 9 or the rather conventional E5 line. Now first of all, there are two things prominent about the tank: the turret armor and the gun. The gun is amazing. First of all, it has an interclip of roughly 1.7 seconds, offering 900 combined alpha with 450 per shot. 450 alpha is pretty big, so even if only one shot goes in, it's still going to hurt pretty bad. Another thing is, the magazine reload time isn't actually all that bad, at 21 seconds, offering you a DPM of 2,298. That's not actually all that bad. After the nerf, the E5 roughly has the same DPM, and you run it in an autoloader. Now that is one thing. Because of all the heavy nerfs, the DPM heavies, apart from the 113, your alpha actually is excellent, your DPM is pretty good, and now your tank is overall a lot better. This tank was untouched in the 8.2 update, which I find rather strange, but I'm not complaining. Another thing is the turret armor, and we're going to take a better look at this in Armour Inspector. So now, let's take a look at the armor. So front on, you can see that you have a rather nice concave pike and several red track wheels. These track wheels are unbelievably troll. I can't tell you how many times where a heat shell or an AP shell just somehow goes into there when you're playing a metal light. But the actual armor of this tank is rather impressive. You don't have to rely on being troll necessarily to bounce shots. First of all, your pike nose is pretty good, I have to say. The armor, 370 on the sides over here, and in the middle 288, means that the enemy will almost always have to fire premium ammo unless they get to look down on you. Of course, you have to consider shell normalization, and most tanks will be able to penetrate this tiny area in the front with standard ammo, but if you angle it off a bit, you can see over here 300 millimeters, 270, 300, you can see the angles do make the armor work. And with this tank, you also want to angle around a bit. And because of the late nature of that concave pike, when you wiggle around a bit, that armor becomes incredibly troll. Red over here, then red over here, then red over here. And even though your traverse might not be excellent, your traverse is decent but not great by any means, it works. You can get bounces. Now, the best thing you want to apply about the tank is the actual turret itself. So you can see front on this turret, 500, pretty strong. However, you start noticing that, that cupola. Those cupolas are not hard to hit by any means. So what you want to do is look up like this and wiggle that around. Now, when you're doing this, you have to remember, you're not infallible. It's not like an IS-4 turret. You can quite easily get penetrated if the enemy knows what they're doing. First of all, over here, it's only 280. So if that's the weak spot that most people can hit quite easily, actually. After that, if you're face hugging, you got to remember that these spots are incredibly weak as well. That enemy can hit them easily with standard ammo. Like, I've had face hugs where I do it as a last ditch attempt and the enemy hits here. Now, that's why if you're face hugging, you want to move the gun and try and block them and stuff like that. But still, those supports are not a hard target at all. Now, if you're looking up like this and the enemy is roughly below you, you can see over here armor is pretty strong, but you don't want to over angle it because right now you can see here 344. Most heat shells can go through that. So what you want to do is bop that turret up and down, left and right, make it as troll as you can get when you hold down. If you're looking directly down at the enemy with all your 10 degrees, you can see incredibly thick armor, but those cupolas you do have to keep aware of. So you can apply this in several ways. First of all, hold down on the ridge. My favorite way of doing this, you shoot and quickly put that gun up, not too high, just high enough, and you want to wiggle it around. And second of all, using obstacles which protrude from the ground. And third of all, poking with that part forward only. So when you're doing that, essentially what you're doing, that is an incredible trick that you really need to learn. So there is a rock or some sort of cover which hides essentially the 7/8 of the tank. Hides all the way over here. And your hold down as well, so near the cap area during most of the time, I can't remember the map exactly, I think it's like Fort Despair or something, you can angle it out a bit and that part will be incredibly strong. That part will be the weak part over here, where the enemy can shoot directly at it, where it's flat, will be hidden, and you are only exposed to thick armor that not even a hurry can penetrate with premium ammunition. So now, let's take a look at more of the tank's statistics. So over here, you can find the tank statistics. You can check them out in the garage yourself, so I'm not going to spend too much time over this. Its mobility is above average for a heavy tank with 30 kilometers forward, 27.39 degrees of rotation per second, and 870 horsepower, so not bad by any means at all. You have tanks like the IS-4, which you defeat narrowly by a bit when it comes to mobility, but your top speed of 35 does make it somewhat constraining because you can't really get past that. If you want the equipment, it gets to 36, but still not incredibly fast for a tank like this. But you don't really necessarily need the speed. It's more about holding a position. Now the gun's dispersion factors and overall accuracy, aiming time, it feels really good for me. 0.396, almost 0.4, but plays somewhat a bit more accurate for me. Doesn't feel like 0.4 dispersion for me. Just personally. I tend to hit a lot with this gun. I don't miss a lot. But yep, I guess the stats are what they are. Gun overall, pretty good, I have to say. The gun handling, decent. The actual gun itself, when it comes to penetration and damage, excellent. So now, let's take a look at the tank in the battle itself. So first up, we have the M-VI-Yoh. This is a replay, not a live game, by the way. Now, on this map, we're going to push it towards the heavy route, and this is what you want to kind of do with the M-VI-Yoh. You have decent mobility, but it's nothing that spectacular when you compare it to tanks like the Chieftain Mark 6, the IS-4, the E5, and they all have better mobility than you, so you don't necessarily want to push it towards med because your top speed is constraining, and you don't want to get outflanked in the event that your team dies. So first of all, I would recommend to push towards heavy, but yeah, when you need to, you can go medium, but you got to keep in mind, you can't exactly push as far. Now, first of all, we're going to just kind of take this position. I do overcommit by accident. A bit of an error on my behalf. I should have went forward and side scrape, which I am going to do now. Now, first of all, we're going to tap this Super Conk. It is a 5k game, by the way, so yeah, so we do tap the Super Conk to the side. And we do tap in one more time, going for the fuel tank on purpose, trying to save the fire. Unfortunately, we didn't do that. Now, I'm going to push forward all the way up. But looking in retrospect, what I should have done was help that Super Conk instead. I thought that Super Conk was able to pull it off quite easily against those guys because I didn't know that the enemy team was going to progress on a Super Conk later. So first of all, I just put 263, he was cross-firing and killed our Hurry. So we're going to push off towards here. Hope you get 2 taps into him, but it doesn't look like it, so we're going to go for the tap. Oh no, we're going to go for the tap again. 263. Yeah, couldn't find the HE, just double check, so I don't regret my choice. Now we have the M-VI-Yoh off over there. You can see the M-VI-Yoh's turret. He is hold down, and this tank, the turret is a rather interesting shape. It's not like the M-VI-Yoh where it's a rather simple shape. So you want to make sure that first of all it's kept facing towards the enemy and not off towards the wrong side. And you also want to make sure that it's kind of troll. You got to make sure you're wiggling it around. You're not making it an easy target for the enemy to hit. You can see I'm staying here. I'm trying this peekaboo playstyle, and this is exactly what you want to do in the M-VI-Yoh. You don't want to overcommit like a heavy because even though your DPM isn't actually that bad anymore. It's not bad anymore because the E5 and 215B did get a nerf, but it's still not great when you have such a long clip reload and you are stuck out there for a long time. So peekaboo is a definite tactic that you need to try. Either side scrape or do exactly what I'm doing over here, just showing only my turret because it's hard to penetrate and it is at sizable range. So you don't want to necessarily risk showing your turret like this. And we do have this T22 medium over here. It is a 2v4, and I'm going to spoil it to you guys. I'm not pulling this off. I didn't pull this off. I did make several mistakes. Now I face out this T22, and I hope that he doesn't pen. I do pull my gun in his gun just in time. and he's pretty much stuck here for now. But this M-VI-Yoh 2 is going to push rather aggressive on me, so that's going to cause a big problem. He does penetrate his first shot. I need him to bounce at least 2 shots. Now, that's not good because he got my side, so I got to waste 1 shot into this guy. Now, there are 2 guns that this tank could run, and I actually think that with the high DPM gun, which has a smaller interclip, but 900 combined damage still, but with 3 shells, I could have actually put it off with that 3-shot gun. But with the 2-shot gun, yeah, I'm running the 2-shot and I can't pull it off. I'm legit just going for the damage right now over here because this guy can just clear me in a second. So I'm going to try and clear this guy. And I really need to try and push over here. I think that M-VI-Yoh 2 can provide me, that T-22 can provide me cover, but yeah, put this drop down. So that's my first game over here, 5.311 damage. A defeat, rather sad for my highest damage game in the Yo, but you can see what I did. I kind of played peekaboo. What I did was I shot, I pulled back. I shot, I pulled back, and that's what you want to do. What I did wrong was I had no team support at all. So when I got rushed, I just completely flopped because they were able to push right behind me while I was face hugging a T-22, and I should have supported my team a bit better. I think that we could have pulled this off if we supported the team, but we would have got less damage. So, on to the next game. So here we have our second game in the Yo. This was before the update where they changed gun graphics. You know, that's pretty cool. I like what Wargaming does with this. I didn't like the old gun texture, but now I kind of like the bore extractor, whatever it's called, in the middle of the barrel. It looks a lot more cool in my opinion. Yeah, anyways, so we're pushing off towards this side because I want to use that 10 degrees of gun depression in all its glory. On this map, I would highly recommend pushing over towards hill, but yeah, look, I wanted to go medium, first of all, but then again, our team is pushing off towards here. Now, Emil 2 and T92E1 they have an interesting conversation. You guys might want to keep an eye on that. Now, I'm pushing off towards the cap over here because the spotting of those tanks convinces me that the enemy tanks are definitely not pushing off towards heavy spawn. So I do manage to spot the grill and I do make a big mistake, but oh, luckily that grill doesn't shoot. Otherwise, I would have been completely wiped out. My game would have been completely gone if that grill had decided to shoot at me. And the grill can penetrate my side of turret with HE. So yeah, good thing that I was able to get away with that. Now you can see here, kind of baiting with only the angled part of the pike. That is exactly what you want to do. You want to push forward only just a bit so your pike is angled up so the side of the pike is facing towards the enemy and the lower plate is red. Now, of course, that didn't work because I thought the grill was poking off in another direction, but we do get one shot into the grill and another shot into the grill for 980. So was it worth the trade? 640 for 980? I'm not too sure about that. Now, I'm pushing off towards the side where my team seems to be struggling. I don't know if they're struggling, but this is going to be the key pinch point of the game. Over here, we can see base cap 58 already. If we kept capping, I think we could have won it easier, but yeah, Emil 2 says hold, but yeah, we need to urgently push on these guys. There's 3 tanks and they're all pushing on these poor dudes over here. Now I'm gonna put my gun up and hopefully bounce these shots, but they are pretty hold down tanks and they're all kind of flexing on me. Now over there you have this T57 who does push aggressive, and I do forget that our team has given up that building over there, so we are getting pushed on rather aggressively. We are losing territory, so what I need to do is kind of angle out like this and get some shots into this guy. Now I'm going to go for the upper part because I want to guarantee the penetration. That's one thing. You don't want to blind shot or risk unnecessary shots with this, because when you shoot one shot, you've lost half your potential clip damage, and this tank isn't the M-VI-Yoh without the juicy alpha damage. That's the thing you want to do. You can see here, angling up, wriggling with the gun up, that's exactly what you want to do. Gun up, maybe not all the way, and just bop it up and down and wiggle around like I do right here. It kind of baits the, oh yeah, T9TE1 kind of getting a bit salty, but yeah. You can see here we're pushing on towards these 2 dudes over here. I do just panic fire because I don't want to take a shot. You can see I'm already on 547 hit points and I don't want to risk taking any more damage. And you can see here, our team's pushing on. And you can see exactly what I'm doing right here. Trying to bait a shot by wriggling it out a bit, exposing only the angled side of the pike while keeping the other side hidden. That's exactly what you want to do. Also, right now, I'm trying to, you can see my peekaboo gameplay.
I kind of hold a position. Then when I have my clip reloaded, then I decide to go forward and push. That is exactly what you want to do on this tank. But remember, it's not a camping tank. You still want to absorb shots, but not necessarily put your armor as the main thing on the battlefield. Hold down, try and get enemies to shoot at you, like I did over there where I was wriggling around, but don't act like you're a mouse. You're not a meat shield. You don't have reactive armor. So that is one thing you want to be careful about. So if there's anything to be learned for this match, it's that you have to try and peek-a-boom with your 900 alpha. Try and wiggle around when you're in the open. Wiggle around and put that gun up because you're gonna get a couple bounces. And when you're peeking, peek with the concave pike. Peek with the angled side and try and angle up that lower plate.
So that's it, guys. Basically, what you want to do is run this tank in a peek-a-boom, hold down each kind of position, utilize that armor as best as you can. Remember that even though the turret may be strong, it's not invulnerable, and you want to keep control. Thanks for watching. This is Epic5105. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day.